We've all been there, right? You're assembling, I don't know, a new bookshelf, box in hand, you're eager to get it done,
Oh, yeah.
and you hit that snag. The instructions show a piece, but it's not quite clear which way it goes, or maybe like a crucial screw size is just missing.
Happens all the time.
And that little flicker of confusion, it just ignites into frustration, delays, maybe even a slightly wobbly bookshelf at the end.
Exactly. You know it's not quite right.
Well, imagine that exact scenario, but instead of one bookshelf, it's an entire line of clothing ready for production.
Oof. Yeah. Big difference in scale.
That's why today we're taking a deep dive into an often overlooked, but honestly absolutely critical document in the fashion industry, the garment assembly sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for many people listening, this might seem like a super technical behind-the-scenes thing, you know, how clothes get made.
It definitely can sound that way.
But this is precisely where that creative vision either smoothly turns into reality or, well, it kind of falls apart stitch by stitch.
That's a really good way to put it.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Our mission today is basically to demystify these essential documents. We want to uncover the most common and, frankly, pretty costly pitfalls that designers and manufacturers run into.
Yeah. The ones that cause the real headaches.
And arm you with some actionable insights. Think of it maybe as a shortcut to making sure your design vision actually truly comes to life, flawlessly, right off the production line.
What's fascinating here, I think, is how something that feels so technical is actually the linchpin. It's central to speed, quality, and yeah, even cost effectiveness.
In any manufacturing, really.
In any manufacturing process, absolutely, but it's particularly crucial in garment production. A really well-done assembly sheet. It's not just a document, it's the foundation.
It really is. And just so we're all on the same page, language-wise, let's quickly clarify terms. You often hear about a tech pack, right?
The whole Bible for the garment.
Exactly. It's the complete production blueprint, got everything. Measurements, bill of materials, colorways, quality control stuff. But at its heart, the real core of that tech pack is what we're focusing on today. The garment assembly sheet.
That's the instruction manual part.
Precisely. It's the detailed construction guide, the roadmap that tells a factory exactly how to turn those flat 2D pattern pieces into a 3D wearable garment.
Every seam, every stitch.
Every trim placement, how panels join up. It's meticulous. It's where the magic happens. Or, as we're going to discuss, where the frustration really mounts.
Yeah, where things can go wrong.
Now, why should we care so much about these, technical documents? Because the stakes here are actually incredibly high. Mistakes aren't just minor oopsies.
No, not at all.
They trigger a tangible, often really expensive ripple effect that can genuinely derail an entire collection.
Precisely. And our sources consistently highlight this.
Yeah.
When the sheets are done right, meticulously, the benefits are huge. They accelerate timelines.
Faster to market.
Exactly. They slash sampling costs because you're not doing endless reworks.
Saves money.
And fundamentally, they just build stronger, more reliable relationships with your suppliers. Because for the manufacturers, these sheets are the guide. They're crucial for understanding how to build the style correctly.
And efficiently, I assume.
And efficiently, to the designer's exact vision and the impact of errors. It's pretty striking, actually.
How bad can it get?
Well, a single oversight, something seemingly small, can easily add 2 to 3 weeks to a production schedule.
2 to 3 weeks.
Weeks. And about €1 per piece in rework costs. Sometimes more.
Wow. Okay, let's break that down. 2 to 3 weeks delay plus €1 per piece. That's not just a minor hit. That's like a silent killer for your margins.
Absolutely. Especially when you scale up. Think about a run of, say, 10,000 units.
Okay.
That's an instant €10,000 added straight to your costs. Just like that.
10 grand gone. And that's not even counting lost sales because you missed your market window.
Exactly. How does a brand even track that? Or a manufacturer mitigate it when the mistake originated in a document from weeks ago?
It seems incredibly difficult.
It is. And often it just gets kind of absorbed as cost of doing business, which, frankly, it shouldn't be.
So who's usually responsible for getting this right?
Typically, it's the technical designer or maybe the product developer. They create it, working really closely with the main designer, of course.
And it changes.
Oh, yeah, it's a living document. It gets updated whenever the style changes. Then the manufacturer reviews it, flags anything unclear. But, the real goal is to minimize those flags from the very beginning.
Right. Get right the first time. So let's peel back the layers then. Let's look at these common pitfalls that turn potential profit into, well, hidden losses.
Okay.
Our expert sources consistently point to the #1 mistake as being pretty simple, actually, but devastating. Just a lack of information. It's not just about what's wrong, it's about what's just not there.
Exactly. The core issue is really stark. If it's not written or illustrated, the manufacturer will decide for themselves,
Oh, boy.
and it often doesn't match your idea. The key insight there is that omission equals interpretation. Any blank space you leave, any detail you just assume is obvious.
Someone else fills it in.
Right. It's basically an open invitation for them to use their vision, which often leads to those expensive reworks we mentioned.
Okay, so this information vacuum, how does it actually show up? Like, what are common examples? What about visual references? Is text enough?
Almost never, especially for unique details. A written description, no matter how detailed, often just isn't enough if a garment has non-standard features.
So you need pictures.
You absolutely need robust visual support. Good photos, clear sketches with callouts, maybe even annotated mock-ups, something they can actually see.
Okay, and what about incomplete flats or sketches? I mean, we know tech packs need good drawings, but where do people trip up beyond just forgetting the back view?
Well, forgetting the back view is common, definitely. But it's also overlooking interior views, right? Or specific closures, like how a placket is built, or intricate pleating.
Things you can't see from the outside.
Exactly. Stuff that just can't be conveyed from one angle, and relying only on a front view. That's asking the factory to be psychic, basically.
Not realistic.
Not at all. Adding specific, detailed callouts for anything complex or hidden is just crucial. It eliminates the guesswork.
Okay, got it. Then there are poor construction details, like someone writes flat lock stitch. Seems clear, right? But what's hiding underneath that?
That's a perfect example. Just saying 14-year-old flat lock stitch centered over seam is only half the story. It completely ignores the underlying seam structure.
What do you mean?
Is it a butted seam where edges meet? Is it overlapped? Is it a raw edge being covered? Each needs different machine settings. Different handling gives a different look and feel.
Oh, okay. So without that context.
The instruction is wide open to interpretation, often the wrong one. And another huge one is undefined internal finishes.
How the inside seams look.
Exactly. Are they neatened with an overlock stitch? Are they bound with fabric for a clean look? Or maybe left raw for a specific aesthetic?
That sounds like a small detail.
It seems small, but it affects everything. Cost, production time, the machines needed, and obviously the final look, and even the durability. If you leave that vague, expect problems.
Right. And measurement specifics, things like button sizes or maybe unusual hem widths, easy to forget.
Very easy. Button sizes have to be explicit, otherwise the buttonholes will be wrong, too big, too small, wrong placement. It throws everything off.
And hems.
Same deal. If a hem is wider or narrower than standard, you have to specify the exact width. Don't assume. Otherwise, you risk changing the whole silhouette or fit.
Okay, so this info vacuum is clearly a big problem. How do we actually prevent it? What are the best practices?
Well, one smart thing is to leverage what you already have. Adjust and reuse sketches or photos from previous similar designs. Don't reinvent the wheel every single time.
Makes sense.
And crucially, support every single detail with clear callouts or extra sketches. Visually show the exact construction. Don't just describe it.
Show, don't just tell.
Exactly. Our source even strongly suggests using standardized diagrams, like ASCS seam diagrams, especially for higher-end stuff. They show the structure and finish visually, leaving no room for language confusion.
So it cuts through jargon?
Precisely. It becomes a universal language.
Okay, so we've covered just having all the information. That's step one. But even if all the pieces are there, they have to fit together clearly, right? The clarity is key.
Absolutely critical.
Which brings us nicely to mistake number 2. The clarity conundrum. It's not about missing info now, it's about making sure what is there is crystal clear. No ambiguity.
Exactly. And interestingly, ambiguity often causes more back and forth, more emails, more calls than just missing information does.
Really? Why is that?
Because it forces the factory to pause. They have to guess, or they have to stop production and ask for clarification. That means delays, breaks in the workflow, and a much higher chance of errors slipping through.
Because if it's missing, it's obvious, but if it's unclear...
It's subtle. It's a hidden saboteur in the process.
Okay, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
So what does this lack of clarity actually look like? I guess inconsistency between text and drawings must be a big one.
Oh, huge. The source gives a great example. Say your pants sketch clearly shows a standard hem, maybe 12-15 millimeters.
Okay.
But then the written note next to it calls for a 35 millimeter hem.
Whoops.
Yeah. Now the manufacturer is stuck. Do they follow the picture or the words? They have to stop and ask. Or worse, they just pick one.
And it might be the wrong one. undermines the whole point of the drawing.
Totally undermines it. And then there's the fascinating issue of regional or just ambiguous terminology.
Yes, you mentioned this briefly, words meaning different things.
Exactly. It's amazing how one single seam or technique can have multiple names, different abbreviations, even within the same country or the same design team.
Can you give that example again?
Yeah, the source mentioned a designer in Switzerland calling a rolled hem a baby hem, perfectly clear to them.
Yeah.
But a colleague, for the exact same construction, used the term roulotte.
French term.
Right. Imagine the confusion when that gets to a factory floor, maybe in a different country altogether, and they see baby hem or roulotte without a clear visual.
Yeah, that's a recipe for mistakes. Shows why visuals are so important.
It really does. It highlights that need for universal understanding, visually, not relying on local terms.
So following that, is it possible to have too much information? Can that cause confusion too? Like unnecessary details?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sometimes less is more, if it's the right less. Naming every single part, like pointing out a back yoke on a shirt when it's already clearly drawn and obvious in the flat.
Doesn't really add anything.
It adds clutter. It can actually bury the details that really matter. Same if you draw a stitch placement. Clearly, you probably don't need a long paragraph explaining it again.
Just creates noise.
Exactly. It makes the document harder to scan, like a scavenger hunt for the crucial bits.
Okay. And lastly, under clarity, we've all seen this low-quality images. Pixelated sketches, things not drawn to scale. That must hurt trust, right?
Instantly. A disproportionate sketch or a blurry low-res image. It makes the reader doubt everything. They second-guess your intent.
Even subconsciously.
Yeah, it casts doubt on the precision of the whole document. It's like presenting a beautiful design on a crumpled napkin. It just diminishes the perceived value and accuracy.
Right. So how do we nail the clarity? How do we make sure communication is precise? No room for doubt, no regional mix-ups?
Best practices here really lean into visual supremacy and just being strategic. Treat the flat drawing as the single source of truth, the absolute baseline.
The drawing rules.
The drawing rules. Add text only when the visual genuinely can't show something on its own, like maybe internal construction detail.
Okay.
Seems clearly. Use sketches, maybe cross-sections, so the structure is obvious. That avoids relying on names like baby hem and ensures anyone can understand it.
Let the picture do the talking.
Let visuals do the heavy lifting. Use flats, sketches, call-outs, use them well. And critically, make sure all images are high quality, nothing under 300 dpi. And make sure they proportionally represent the flats. No weird scaling.
It's about designing the instructions themselves, really.
Exactly. Engineering understanding through clear visual design.
Okay, brilliant. So you've got all the info. It's crystal clear, visually dominant. What else can go wrong? Well, even perfect information can get lost if it's badly organized. Imagine that beautifully written book again, but with no chapters, no headings, no page numbers. You just get lost, right?
You give up.
Yeah, you wouldn't know where to find anything.
This is mistake number 3, the organizational overload. Or maybe underload. Just bad layout.
That analogy is spot on. A tech pack can be technically perfect, every detail accurate, but if the structure doesn't guide the reader, doesn't make sense.
Time gets wasted. So much time gets wasted just finding the right info.
Yeah.
And that wasted time, that hunting around, inevitably leads to mistakes. It's not just about the content. It's about accessibility. It's user experience for the manufacturer.
Okay, so what does bad organization look like practically? Like cramming too much on one page?
That's a classic. Trying to put everything on one sheet, mixing the assembly instructions with, say, embroidery placement details and the color palette options.
Way too much.
It forces the reader, maybe the sketcher, who only needs construction steps to sift through loads of irrelevant stuff. It becomes that scavenger hunt again. Slows them down. Makes it easy to miss things.
Okay. What about a confusing reading flow? Like you don't know what's important.
Yeah, that's another big one.
Yeah.
If you don't use visual hierarchy, different font sizes, bold text, maybe color highlights, smart placement to guide the eye.
The key stuff gets lost.
The manufacturer doesn't immediately grasp what's the most critical instruction for this step or this section. They might focus on the wrong thing or miss a crucial note buried in a block of text. Good organization creates a clear visual path.
And missing page numbers? Seems basic, but I bet it happens.
Oh, it happens. And for any tech pack over, say, 2 or 3 pages, it's maddening. Clear, consistent page numbers, ideally page X of Y format, are essential.
Especially on a busy factory floor.
Exactly. Imagine trying to refer back, check the detail on page, the third page. Information gets lost, sections get mixed up, discussions during quality checks become a mess. It breaks the flow.
So tying this together, good organization is really about respect for the user's time, isn't it? Making it efficient.
Fundamentally, yes. Keep sections separate and logical. Organize it for the specific reader, maybe a pattern maker section, a sewing section. Use visual cues like font size or color to make critical info pop.
Simple stuff.
And yeah, make sure your template has page numbers set up by default. It's a small thing, but it makes a huge difference in usability.
That's all incredibly helpful. And, as a kind of bonus point, our source adds a fourth crucial mistake that often gets overlooked.
Yes, the updates.
Exactly, not updating the tech pack after a design change. It's not just about getting it right initially, is it?
Not at all. Design changes happen. It's normal.
Yeah.
But they must be meticulously updated in the current assembly sheet. And you need a revision history. Track those changes.
Why is that so critical?
Because working from outdated files, even if it's just one tiny detail that changed, that can cause errors that ripple through the entire production run. Massive waste of time and money.
So what this really means is the tech pack, the assembly sheet, it's not a static thing you create and forget.
Absolutely not. It's a living, breathing document. It demands constant, careful attention throughout the process.
Okay, wow. So let's just quickly recap the big pitfalls we've dived into today. First, that lack of information, just missing specs.
The vacuum.
Right. Second, the lack of clarity, ambiguous notes, conflicting info, bad visuals.
The confusion.
And third, poor organization, bad layout, hard to find stuff, no page numbers.
The scavenger hunt.
Plus that bonus, not keeping it updated. These aren't just small things. They are silent killers of time and money, hitting timelines, hitting quality, often without anyone realizing why until it's too late.
Absolutely. And the takeaway really is every single minute you spend making your communication more precise, more visual, better organized in these documents.
Get back later.
It saves you hours, potentially days or weeks, of fixes and headaches down the line. Regularly reviewing how you communicate, getting feedback from your manufacturers, that transforms the tech pack from just a file into a genuinely powerful, efficient, cost-saving tool.
It's about building trust through that clarity.
That's a perfect way to put it, building trust through clarity.
So as you, listening, go about your day, maybe think about the clothes you're wearing right now, each piece is the result of countless decisions, endless communication, often guided by one of these assembly sheets you'll never see. How many got it right because of that meticulous detail, that clarity, that organization, making sure the vision came through perfectly?
And how many might have a hidden story?
Exactly, a hidden story of rework, frustration, maybe compromise buried in the seam somewhere. Perhaps the next time you put on an item of clothing, you'll see not just the fabric and the stitches, but that invisible language of its assembly sheet behind it.
It's a different way to look at it.
So here's a final thought. What critical information are you communicating today? In your work, maybe in your life, a project brief, setting a goal, even just a text message? Could it use a touch more precision, a bit more clarity, maybe better organization to avoid those unseen pitfalls and make sure your message truly lands exactly the way you intend it to?